which one would you do?
First.
You may say, well, Father, I'll do both, but you know, you don't understand. Father knows it doesn't work. And God knows as well. Don't look.
자, 그런데 불구하고 이 팬들이 자꾸 학교 가서 뭐 전도를 못 쓰고 난 땅 가는데 왜 당신이 안 해? 이러고 그래. 이해가 안 나? 그래, 네 말이 맞다. 어디?
But at the same time, the wife will turn to the husband and say, "Oh, when you go to school, don't go to witnessing." And if wife says that, then you will listen to your wife, or you listen to the voice of the principal. So, namely, the way of love we must go. Love towards the clan and towards the world.
3시간 내가 뒤로 끌고 들어가야 뒤로 남쪽 끌고 가야 돼.
If wife does not willingly follow you, then you have to drag her. Drag her. That's better than she not going.
좋아?
How about
그런 걸 어딨어? 그러니까
you say, "Oh, Father, that's against the will. You know, that's against God's principle. That's against democracy. Against everything." But someone knows he must go, but he can't go. Then someone drags you. Are you happy?
Yes.
If you are being dragged and someone dragging you, so long as you have someone drag you, you're a happy person, fortunate person.
글쎄 너참 거칠 게 무시무시하게 그러더라도
Your husband is impossible. He will never ever let go of you. He will just force you to go, drag you to some point, which you don't want to go actually.
자, 보라고.
But that's because of love he's doing that.
자, 너들 말이야. 여전히 가정이 필요하고 돈이 필요하고 살림살이 필요하고 집이 필요한 모든 여전히 알아서 선생님 말씀이 오면서부터 그 준비하는 거야.
And of course, when you were single, you had a lot of worries you have now. You didn't have. Like you didn't need any money while you were single, because you didn't need any because we have food, we have clothing. But as your family come to grow, 2 family, 3 members of the family, 4 members of the family, then you'd have a money, somewhat of position, somewhat of education, all that additional burden you start feeling. But Father knew already, before Father matched and married you, that this day will come in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Father knew no more than you do.
그런 때가 어서 전도해가지고 식구만 참 큰일 난다 그러거든. 전도도 안 하고 그것만을 원해가지고 암만 바랬던 제가 선생님만 돈이 많더라도 뻔한
But that's why Father said, make members, increase your members, work hard. And but you never did that. You did not witness, just either a lot of time away. And now you have a family. Now you have a need to support your family. So you turn around and where you find the solution.
이 체인들이 그동안 지방 유수들 만나서 의논하고 전부다 이제 전쟁할 때는 어떻게 적장을 우리 쫄병이 대전에서 싸워 이기는 사람 만들 수 있느냐 하는 것이 강력한 군대가 되는 것이요 미래의 승리를 차지할 수 있는 군대가 되는 것을 알았다. 그런 의미에서 선생님이 처음부터 책임져서 주제부터 뭐 주의사 만나고 칠거면 들고 뭐 학교 총장을 칠거면 이놈의 자식 뒷도로 들고 절대 집까지 할 수 없이 그대를 끌고 내도 시켜놓을 끌고 내도 그런 스탠 것을 따위에
So Father told you already that to meet the high figures in your local area, state, governor, judges, the police chief, all these leader type people, you go and witness to them, share your idea together. Your purpose of being there together. Actually, the strong army wants his smallest soldier to fight and win against the enemy's general. That's what the general trains a man, and that's very normal. And only that become a strong army. Then Father told them to go and teach them. So you wouldn't do that. So Father sent the Korean members to encourage you to do that, to see to it that you do that. And sometimes drag you out, here, you do this way, this fashion. Then they think they are forced to do something, they don't even want to do it. what way would you be willing and do it all by
이게
yourself?
지도자들이 전부 통일교 모르게 된 것은 기사님들의 책임이야. 지금까지 책임자들이 큰 분별을 내든 말이었다.
We must know that all the state leaders in the past, not witnessing like Father told them to do, not going to the leaders and speak to them directly, plead them with the tears. The fact that they didn't do that, your failure of responsibility as the state leader,
그래서 이 나라에
and a lot of state leaders failed that.
이 전국적인 모든 사람들이 그렇게 반대하는 거죠.
If they did that in a difficult and trying time, like Father told them to do today, they would not find their position so difficult. It's much easier. Do you understand?
자, 그리고 오늘 소위 이런 문제를 오늘 우리의 존재, 여러분의 존재 어떻게 되냐? 사랑의 품에 존재했다. 사랑의 풍요한 존재하는 사람이고.
So existence, our position, our existence, our position, we should be existing within the realm of love of God. We should. That's our position must be. We must stand.
그래야 그 존재의 가치가.
Then and only then, all the universe will welcome and cherish your position where you stand.
그래서 아까 말했지. 나라는 것이 혼자가 아니야. 사실은 미국에서 그래서 우리가 있기 전에 우리가 존재하기 전에 하나님의 사랑 우주에 의지가 있다는 사실.
We must understand today, so-called I am not I. I am the fruit of the past, representing the present time, and will be the source of the future. That's the I, position of I. We must understand that before I was born, our ancestor was there. Before even they were born, God was there, and God's love was there. And we inherit only after we are born. So we must connect with these elements. We no longer free. We are the part of the great big cosmos. And to do his mission well is free. That's the only freedom we are seeking.
그런 역사와 그런 세세를 거쳐온 그 사랑이 완성할 수 있는 사랑의 작동을 되면 역사 시대에 누구라도 사랑을 발휘할 수 있는 생활과 그런 전통을 이어받고 그런 세계와 미래에 관을 갖다고 노력하는 사람을 그 사람을 찾을 수 없다는 것은 가장 이거든요.
And we covet love, but anybody other than who understand all these his position, where he must exist and stand, and with a love and heart towards the world, no love will justly come visit him and stay with him. It's as simple as that. Still, we want some love to come, then he's a crazy person. He just cannot come.
선생님 좋아?
Okay, let Father ask you a question. Do you love Father? I mean, like Father?
욕으로 욕해 좋아?
And many times Father gives you harsh words, and sometimes Father really strike you. It's sometimes more painful than a spanking. Is that good?
Yes.
Still you like Father?
Yes.
그럼 내가 이제 아프리카 가서 살면 너도 아프리카 따라올래?
Okay, good, and let that be. But when Father goes to Africa, what happens? Then would you follow Father out all the way to Africa?
Yes.
그 아프리카 선생님이 가게 되면 내 편 아들 딸 실제로 그저 강제로 데려가 살겠다. 나 자스 그러고 싶다 한 사람도.
Then they say, so long as Father goes to somewhere, I will go. Not only I go, but all of my family, no matter what the circumstances is my wife, my husband, and my children, I will bring them along with me where Father will go. And those who feel that way, raise your hands.
Thank you very much. Very much. 그런데 거기 가서 뭐 할 거야? 미국 10배, 20배 고생을 사들여도 질살도 고생할 것이다. 그럼 I don't know that kind of circumstance.
But then coming with Father, with all that sacrifice and bringing your family from a comfortable place to uncomfortable place, fine. But what if you come after that? After that, you will work 10 times harder than in America, with all the family members involved. I don't want to do that, Father. I rather want to stay here and not do that, would you do that, or even I work 10 times harder?
그 10times 버티고 뭐 2times 버티다가 도망하는데 도망.
Well, 10 times is easy to say, but you are doing your best now. And then if you imagine you're working 10 times harder, and 2 times will be more realistic, but even twice harder you work, maybe you will think about running away.
뭐라면 멤버 maybe so. I don't believe. No matter how. Allow loudly. No. I don't feel.
No.
I don't believe you. I don't believe in you.
No, Father.
Father has no reason to believe in you, no proof that Father can believe in you. Working twice as hard in Africa,
그래야 사람 말.
whereas you don't work here. Father's seen many type of people, many different people. In America, Father saw many different people.
뭐? In this one. 노란 말을
When you say no, Father wished Father can trust that right away.
그럼 수많은 젊은 사람 천명 만명 토일교회에 몇 배 이상의 사람을 희생하는 사람 보고도 그때서 믿을까 말까 할 것이다. 생각을 이렇게 한다고.
Father is
냉혈히 비판해보죠.
so immune to that, and Father had to be real and practical, that when Father sees someone who is working 10 times as hard as you, and still not than you, then Father may allow himself begin to trust in him. Father feel that kind of a cautious way. And certainly Father cannot believe and trust you as you are today. And this, if anything, this is a misery of the Unification Church. The hope of the world, and that hope is not anywhere near the expected level.
진실 가지고
Father came here.
주려고 했고 주었고
Father came here with love, with the truth. But what Father has got in return was so meaningless, so meager.
이 처음을 누가 그런 체험을 누가 취소해 버리느냐 그 사람을 찾고 있는 거예요.
Father now is at the stage where how can Father find a person who will erase that sad experience of the past and implant a new hope and image of a future America? Who will bring that transition over Father's idea? That's what Father is seeking now.
너는 총받고 태어나는 아들 딸이 그러나 아들 딸이 나오게 되니
Would Father have a hope in the future generation of sons and daughters who are born after the blessing, after the dear parents of blessing, after blessed couples? In America, Father finds it difficult to expect that.
어디서
But where?
아프리카 같은 데 어디 가가지고 고생을 몇백 배 시키는데도 감사하고 눈물을 내고 나를 위해서 죽어나가는 그런 형태를 바라봄으로 말이야. 미국에 대한 모든 너희들에 대한 관념을 실을 수 있는 하나의 기관입니다. 그래서 너희들이 서서히 아프리카가 가까이 따라가서 무슨 스타 같은 말을 끌고 막.
So Father instead may turn to Africa where their hearts are at least pure, and their suffering is much greater than the suffering of America. Even though at the difficulty and suffering, Father will make them even suffer more, even more, and they, with obedience, even carefully, welcome Father and resolve the working more difficult way there.
자, 예전에
So Father goes there, so American members go with Father, joining Father doing that.
어떤 세미나를 들어서 부대 선생님에 대한 부탁한다고 하면서 아프리카 선교사가 미국 총리. 그 사람 뭐 옛날에 대단한 사람인데 그 사람이 하는 말이 미국 젊은이들은 너나 할 거 전부 다 7년 동안 이상 아프리카 선교사를 보내라. 고생에 쩌드리고 한없어 이런 순환 가운데서 하나를 부르고 부모님을 위해 뜻을 위한다고 선서할 수 있는 데서야 비로소 미국 사람으로서 필요한 앞으로의 미국을 다시 한번 살릴 수 있는 사람이 됐다. 그전에 희망이 없어. 하는 보고를 해도 그냥 보고를 주고 근데 만약에 미국 사람이 많냐고.
Others been getting a report. One, a American missionary in Africa, who happened to be wasn't anyone.
7년 동안 다 과정 시키는 게 다 과정 잠깐 시키는 게
But he said, he told the father, make every single American, unless, and so therefore, make every single American come to the African country, make them suffer at least 7 years in the capacity of missionary, just like himself. He knows because he was one of these Americans himself. Father, this is the only way to change Americans and make them understand.
하나님의 심판을 하는 것이라서 알았다는 게 없어.
He said, for the first time in his imagination and in his life, that he understood the suffering and sorrow of God being in Africa.
선생님이 핍박하는 거 얼마나 불했구만 그랬더니 그때 내가 알았고.
So he knew only after getting in Africa and working 7 years in that miserable condition, then he knew how miserable father's feeling was, our true father's feeling was in this country, and how his pain was in this country.
내가 선생님 편에서 세계에 대해서 무장자들 선교사를 가면서 변화할 수 있고 선생님을 위로할 수 있겠다. 하나님 앞에 변화할 수 있고 하나님 위로할 수 있겠다. 그때서야 이게 사람이 아니냐 그런
He said, he reported also that now he's in a position to understand Father, therefore defend Father in behalf of himself to the world. Explain to the world what kind of Father he is. Therefore, they must listen to Father and understand him and help him. Also about God, what kind of God God is, what kind of situation of God is. He said for the first time in his life, now he feels that he's able to explain in behalf of God what his position was. For the first time.
미국에 있어가지고 절대 안 된다.
He said 7 years ago, before he came from America to Africa, he said, Father, it was not impossible. It was not possible for me to understand what God was, what Father was.
그러니까 말이야.
And this is not what Father is telling you a story, but instead this is what American member, such as you, who went to Africa, stayed there for 7 years and
이제는 그런 미국이 어떻게 될까라고 이 하나님 앞에서 미국을 구하기 위해서는 우리 후배들을 이렇게 해달라고 하는 것이 부탁이야. 어때?
And then he said, Father, please listen to my plea to you. Make America understand. Educate Americans in this context.
If not this life training in this time cannot save this America.
This is what he pleaded to Father.
Please help me for survival of America. How about it? You don't know that kind. You cannot reach that kind of serious position. How about you?
Same in that.
Now, when European leaders came to here, doing the captain of the IOWC member. Not so easy, I know well, this is not so easy. I know well. I had experience that kind of situation more. What? I know it. But you are still not enough. Not enough for saving this. For saving this America, need more your suffering, effort, result. The future of America idea. America wants to you. Who determines nation of that kind of conception? There's no anyone in America, young people outside the world. No, no, no. But only hope is money. Only hope. Now for looking for something. Good. That's a good means in the future. America is not so head or hope. Press down to you. Going much on. 그 사람이? 어? I know. I know.
So, we still have time. We should waste no time. As long as Father is here. Until Father remains, continue to remain here.
서구 사회의 대표들은 여기서 미국 말아가지고 최고의 실현적으로 내놓는 이 전략이 실패하게 될 때는 서구 문학들은 제3세계로 떠나갈 것이다.
Here, Father
하나님을 힘을 줄 것이다.
brought all the European major, the leader representing the major countries of the Europe, and here Father is training them, making a prototype. If they do not succeed, if Father does not succeed here, then the consequence of that will be the decline of all the major countries and civilizations in the future. And Father can see that clearly.
스피릿의 사랑을 통해서
Then in Father's love and Father's faith, Father's intense effort is redirected to the Spanish-speaking people. Then the Spanish-speaking people will be in that position of the world leadership.
전국의 지역대가 썩어버리는 썩어 사람이다. 야말.
So, use only America as an example of a perishment and give the hope to other nations. Use this as a sacrifice of learning material.
그때는 너희들의 비유를 만들 거야.
But we don't. Do we want to serve as a failing example, or are we going to make this country a success? Is truly up to us now. If this country fails and some other country will bear the responsibility, then all the failure story, all the bad example will be cited from the case of America. And this is more miserable than we think.
절대 미국 전통을 바라보지 마.
So we say,
이런 교육을 안 했을 거야.
so as a result, if one is a rightful teacher and good teacher, he must stress that what America holds as a tradition has actually no root or no justification. Give it up and do the heavenly way. This is a person has to. But when this country fails, then that's what Father has to say. And then after that, Father has to give up, prohibit reading the American papers and going American schools and everything American. Father has to just close that up. If America fails and some other country is picked up for its mission. So Father is serious in that thinking. When Father came here to this country, Father does not pass this country without the result of one way or the other. Father succeeds here, heaven bears fruit here, fine. If it doesn't, then all the blessing formerly given to this country will be taken away at the time.
그때 와서 미국 사람 이세계 수사 자 아프리카
Then the American will repent at that time and say, Father, please use me again. Then Father probably will have to push them down into Africa, let them start from the scratch in the most remote difficulty of African life. And that's possible.
안 되거나 하나님 그렇게 만들 것이다. 그렇게 하면 이건 인과 원칙에서 불가능, 인과 법칙에 의해서 불가능.
If after such a heart and such an effort Father puts into this country, still this country fails to comply with Father, that is what the consequence will be. This is what Father is pointing out
기다리는
now.
것도 한계가 있고 참는 것도 한계가 하나님 것 때문에.
Of course, God has waited, and there is such a thing as limit to waiting. Wait and
선생님이 말하기를 1900에 85년에서부터 88년까지 기간 딱 줬다.
1985 and 88 during this time, Father already set the time. During this time, everything will have to be accomplished or else.
무슨 말이겠어?
Do you understand?
Yes.
이거 지나가면 선생님이 여기 있어야도 안 했을 거예요.
And beyond that, there is literally no way that even Father is asked to stay in this country. Father would not stay in the country.
인사도 안 하고 떠날 거예요.
If that time is not accomplished, by the time the dispensation is not accomplished in this country, then God will leave, Father knows. Therefore, Father must leave along with God at that time. Just like American has been showing, Father will leave without even saying goodbye.
나가란 날이야. 명령이라고 절대는 사실 여러분 아니에요.
You must understand this is not Father's individual resolvement, but with intense prayer with God and conferring with God side by side, Father decided this
세계
has to be the way.
모든 정상에서 법이 지켜지죠.
And that is about the time where all the major problems, all the problems of all the world will come to that, into that utmost difficulty and sensitivity.
문의가 필요하고 레버는 문이 필요할 때는 이래서는 미인이 레버는 전하는 사람이 됐습니다.
When America related, understand that they absolutely need Father to stay in the country, but that alone cannot make Father bring back here or stay here.
그래! 세계적으로 만나는 어디가 마찬가지기 때문에 그래서 그 어디가 자연스럽게 이범을 쓰는 두 블록의 다이나를 넣어버렸다.
But before that, Father accomplished the mission here on America. Then, even though Father goes to different part of the world, he can come back and forth. It's the same as staying in America. But if not, then the world will see into the two huge blocks, like a Cain and Abel relationship once more.
선진국에 대한 대우를 다 해줬단 말이야.
America, Father treated as an advanced nation, even in the worldly sense.
약선민족이 핍박받는 것 대체적으로 내가 축복하는 많이 참아보다 아니래.
Representing all the small nations and the minorities, Father has suffered in their behalf, and this Father has done for the sake of America.
미국 사람의 입장도 내가 잘 알고 마이너리티 전 세계에서 아주 잘 알고.
And the situation of Americans, Father understands, and the situation of minority, Father also understands.
내가 만약에 마이너리티 저쪽에 가지고 나를 정당을 만드는 미국이 두꺼방 날까봐 그런 노릇 하고 싶다.
And if Father will make the minority political party, that will only bring the reality of splitting America into two, which Father clearly does not want to do that. Father instead, what the Americans understand and come into unity under understanding God.
그렇지 않고는 미국은 많은 문제가 들어갈 것이다. 이걸 어떻게 하냐?
Unless they do that, then America will continue to deteriorate. How to uphold deterioration is what Father is doing on one hand.
해가지고 여러분이 세상의 무덤을 파버리려고 할고 여러분의 좋은 역사를 꿈꾸는 사람들이 공동체를 파헤치려고 합니다.
Once this defeat comes in this country, then much of your tombs and your ancestors, all of that,
Famous United too.
your famous ancestral tombs will be dug out by communism. They will just nullify that. They will just deny that.
우리나라에서는 수많은 부자의 원흉 차버리는 실험을 배웠습니다.
And especially the capitalists, so-called, the rich people, the one who has the financial backgrounds will all be condemned into the people, and they simply will be washed out. And
그런 것을 알기 때문에 최고의 힘을 다해서 우리가 이 3년간을 놀아가야 된다는 결론을 내린 것을 알죠.
So since we know that in the next 3 years to come, in the last 3 years, we must really, really try to the impossible degree to make our mission minimum degree successful.
그래서
You understand?
그때는 내가 미국을 떠나가지고 미국에 있는 뜻을 진짜 충성다하는 사람은 옹켜가야 되겠다 그 생각.
And even though the dispensation in this country may not succeed, those who truly worked their best for the sake of that goal, when Father moves to the country, Father will bring them with Father. But or else, those who didn't try so hard, Father simply have to leave them behind.
난 미국 사람 처음 먹지만 식당을 위해서 처음 먹는 사람 너를 고생하는 소리 한번 듣고 뚱뚱하고 어떻게 되나 뚱뚱한 몸 뛰고 어떻게 될까 생각하면
The one Americans who is overnutrition, obese in fact, they will come to understand how the begging for food is like. Because once communists move in, take this country over, that's exactly what's going to happen the next year. All Americans will have to beg for the food from place to place. This is reality.
그 너들 잘못해서 살 세계를 누리고 나고 나서 너들을 목약고 잊어버리는 그 사람은 하나님 충분히 가까운 거 알아야 돼.
America, who have already long ago forgot, before they eat, they must provide that food for the hungry people. The fate they await is just a misery and a punishment. You are well deep in the course already. The Father's purpose of educating America is to reverse that trend, and America wake up before that actually happens in a few years.
그런 준비를 하고 있는 미국 하지만 내가 세계 사람 하려고 전부 반대가 막아가지고 전부 다 못하게 해가지고 죽으라니.
You wait and see. America may be strong in this way, not forever. Once they fail God's will, then it will be something quite other than what you imagine. This is why we have to awaken now. The Father will never use any American after that.
역사시대의 소돔과 고모라와 같이 하나님 떠나라는 말에는 미국이 정할 것이다. 그래서 무슨 말이지?
Like a Sodom and Gomorrah in the history. Until that, God tried to re-educate them. But when that day came, God told them, leave that country with no trace of attachment. Leave that country behind and don't even look back. And we saw that already in the history.
지금 현재 미국의 모든 큰 도시들이 옛날 소돔과 고모라보다 더 하던 사실을 알아야 돼.
We understand now today the major cities of world, especially in America, is getting even worse than Sodom and Gomorrah was in the past.
그렇지만 이걸 버림받는 것이 자유세계가 달려있기 때문에 버림받는 자유세계.
And God will do justice, punishing them, but He cannot, because this punishment will be a capital, final punishment, which will be strong enough to destroy the entire free world. That's the only reason why God cannot destroy them or punish them. So, if this continues, America will just fast deteriorate, fast period, so quickly, unless they do something to remedy this.
이월들을 살릴 수 있는 상속적 기반을 닦기 위해서 선생님은 절개로 나올 때
Therefore, Father on the other hand, is putting so much effort to establish the foundation of the free world in general, not depending solely on America. When both fails, of course, the free world really will have to see the really miserable situation. It's up to us to prevent that. So we must know that
이런 말하는 것이 미국 전부 다 그 꼭대기에서 특히 실로 들어가는 거야. FBI, CIA 보고하는 게 들어가는 거야.
this may have an implication, an impact. When the government hears this fundamental speech, sermon, they certainly would not like to hear that. That's the last thing that they will hear that. But it is intention that Father wants them to hear, because this is something that certainly will come to pass.
내가 모르고
No
내가
secret about it.
다 알고 있는
It's not Father speculating, it's not Father imagining things. This is the future reality that Father projected. Father knows there's no room for mistake in Father's prediction.
넘어가는 이걸 막들 브레이크를 해야 할 거야 할 텐데 오늘 최고의 노래가 한이들이
So that undesirable trend a break must be applied to that. And moonies are must do the function of break. Don't do that. Don't do that anymore. Rather, do this. That's the break that we say to them. We apply to them.
뭐 디스코 댄스를 뭐라고 그러나? 야근 술 먹고 밤을 새워. 우리는 밤을 새워가면서 이상하지 몇 스페 이상하지 않는 데를 가야 돼.
Like how the world is enjoying disco, they do not want to think about tomorrow. They just want to enjoy the moment. But the more intensely they do desire that, more intensely moonies must work to offset the balance. And we direct America into a new direction. That's something we must do.
시간을 말해. 몇 시간은 나.
So it's
하나 둘 셋 네 시간이야.
so for 4 hours, Father spent just to make this one point repeatedly.
자 어떡하자.
So what would you like to?
미국 마하게 여기 책 읽는다만 미국 마하게 내버려 두자. 그냥 한번 적극적으로 마하게 해보자.
Now you can assess the situation. Now you can take the situation of America in your own hand, literally, and weigh. In your mind, try to decide now. Should we let America go its fate? And I don't care, because I never loved America. Should we do that? Or we take seriously once more America as a whole, and historically, from all the ancestors and God's expectation in this country, and once more resolve ourselves, Father, from this time on, in a different plane, in different the dimension, I will take the responsibility and let us save America seriously once and for all, starting this moment. Have you urged to think these two considerations?
Second.
Give it up or take seriously.
나 토일교회 묵겠는데 토일교회 하나님 묻는 그런 답을 했더니 내가 답변하지. 야, 너 레브런은 그러기 위해서는 토일교회 멤버 위로부터 아래 꼭대기 전부 다 신시고 자신이 쌀때 나올 거야. 하나님은 나한테 묻는
If God demanded that answer, just like Father demanded the answer to you, if God demanded the answer to Father himself, and then Father had to think deeply, then what he would answer to God. Then the condition is that in the event Father decides to save America, that means Father has to sacrifice everything he's got. The Unification Church, Korea.
all yes American Unification member including all of them world leaders can sacrifice all members. 어떻게 돼요? 바다가 그러죠. No, 내가 나 이세.
Then what does Father's answer to God be? Should Father say to God, no, I can't sacrifice all the members, or leaders, world leaders, I can't do that. Can he say, or say, Father, I can take that sacrifice, but still achieve this ultimate goal of saving America? What should Father say to God? If you were in Father's position.
Yes, I will do it. I will do it. Many members sacrifice for saving this America and free world.
That's what Father's answer must be.
그래.
First, Father will shout out, yes, God, yes, I will do it. He will say, do what? Then he will say, I will be ready to sacrifice all the Unification Church, yet save the full America. That I will do, he will have to say, and the free world. And
내 생각 자신 있어? 자신 있어?
saving America,
자신 있어?
each and every one of the American members here sitting in front, Father demand, do you really feel the realistic feeling, confidence that you can save America?
Yes, Father.
어떻게? 먹을 거 다 먹고 입을 거 입고 놀 거 놀고 걱정거로 다 하고 다 하고 나서 그래가지고 예스.
But how? Do everything you want, spend everything that you want to spend your time to, and after the remaining time you say you save the world?
No, Father.
그럼 뭐 everything.
That means if you say yes, our Father, I will do it, that means you have to sacrifice everything. Go to that one goal and one goal only.
그 everything 가운데는 자기 편에 가 있어, 자기한테 딴 데가 있어, 안 들어가 있어.
That everything includes his wife and his beloved children or not?
Yes.
남편.
How about husband?
Yes.
그럼 축복받는 거 어떻게 돼?
Then about the blessed couples. Blessed couples give up their wife and husband and children too.
Yes.
와. 와. 어? 와.
In order to save America.
응?
In order to save American people.
You didn't love so much America more than you are wife and children. 내 아메리칸 미국에서 나는 know how can love the American more than their family. They did not. When do you want to learn that kind of loving me? From where? From where? Do you want to learn that kind of loving way? From where?
You just said you will sacrifice everything, your wife and children, and for the sake of America. But you don't have that tradition in America. Nobody ever sacrificed it.
No, how you answer clearly? Yes, say to me, I don't believe that kind of concept. Why? You didn't know how much loving for me.
And you don't know the loving beyond your family.
I know well. How can which I will love for loving America?
How can you say, yes, Father, I will love more the Americans
Concept.
more than anything else? But you never demonstrated that in the past. How can Father? No, and you have no
그런 거지.
desire to learn.
너 아들 딸 낳은 사람하고 내 아들 딸뭐 프라이버시 말고 뭐 패밀리 말고 새끼 뭐 스파우스 뭐 해가지고 야간을 했지만은 미국에 생각 해봤어 안 해봐. 어떻게 돼?
You have worried about many things, like especially your spouse and your family. You may have, but you never have worried so much about the country.
자기를 두고 생각해야지. 가족을 두고 생각해라 해봐. 가족도 지금 털었다는 거지. 나라 두고 생각하고 세계 두고 생각하고 뭐 천주 하나님도 사랑이나 뭐 생각을 먼저 해봐나 말이야.
You didn't even think about, you didn't even imagine about loving the country or loving the world, and not even sacrificing. But now, on top of that loving, you have to sacrifice your own family, your own well-being. Simply, this way of kind of thinking in an individualistic style of life was not there.
자, 그래서 이제 start. Many members stand the start line. They're going march on. One step, two step, going this like way. 이런 사람들이 그런 훈련을 된 것이 아이고 나라 살아가자 하나 뒤돌아봐. 소돔 고모라 심판받는 뒤돌아보지 말라는 뒤돌아보지 말라니까.
Without knowing clearly and without learning how to do that, they say, oh yes, let's all stand up and let's go. So you may go, start up. A few steps becomes more and more difficult. Like a Sodom and Gomorrah, you want to look back. You look back at good old days where you didn't have this worry.